Hello and welcome to round 10 of Grand Prix Cleveland. I'm Brian David Marshall, joined by Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth. And you see an empty knapsack there where our relax is supposed to be. He's off taking a break, so we're actually going to start on 2 9-0s. Eric Severson on your left, and Mark Herberholz, the Pro Tour Honolulu champion from 2006 of the Heasy Street deck. And Mark Herberholz is playing Jeskai. If you were wondering, you saw like a flying crane technique going super late around the table.
It was kind of flying around the table.
Well, that would have been the third for Mark Herberholz, so he passed on the third one.
Can't fathom that. Now, you said he took a land over it, right?
I believe he did, yeah. I was keeping an eye on what he was doing. So Jeskai Elder gets trumped here.
In a pretty big way.
By the Dragon Eye Savants. Just turn 2, play. And that's something that, I like when people do that. I think that's a great play.
Yep.
Just like, you know what, I just don't want you drawing a card. If you're going to get that guy through, you're going to need to deal with my big wall here.
It's tempting to wait a turn to play the Dragon's Eye Savants face down so that you can get the more information, and also so that you could potentially trade for the Elder. Because what you can do is you can block the Elder if they attack, and they'll have to play something to grow it up so that it'll actually beat the morph, and then you can turn your Dragon's Eye Savants face up. But if you make that play, you actually let him hit you once, and even one loot can get out of control pretty quickly, especially if your opponent is, missing a color or looking for some specific cards.
And Severson had something else to do on turn 3 as well, so he just gets to use his mana more efficiently, keep Mark off. So Tormenting Voice for Mark Herberholz. Mark highly prioritized his lands.
Fixing. You see a Nomad Outpost down there?
Super. He took that first pick in the second pack.
And that's just as a red-white?
Yeah, he took that over, some perfectly serviceable Jeskai cards.
Yeah, once you have 2 flying crane techniques, you start your eye becomes, well, can I resolve these?
He didn't have any at that point.
Not at that point.
This was his first cons pick.
Oh my God.
Morph gets in. Mark goes to 19.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy. There's a Mardu War Shrieker
Wow.
into Gorswine. Wow. Just deploy 7 points of power here on turn 4.
Oh, kidding. That's pretty ideal there for the War Shrieker. We often see it play a morph, but playing a 4/1 seems fine too. And Herberholz is left just playing in Einak Bonkin here.
Yeah, Einak Bonkin, but he's been sitting on feed resistance for a couple turns here.
Yeah, this is something that Eric Severson is going to be considering in a big way. Remember, feed of resistance not only gives a counter protection, but in this case, it will also give, for example, the Jeskai Elder first strike thanks to the Bonkins being on the battlefield. So Severson, he might attack with just the War Shrieker here. Now, Rumble mode. But we have to keep in mind that Severson has 3 cards and 5 open mana here as well.
Yeah, he said his morph mana. So, Teamer can probably, that could be a Snowhorn Rider, that could be a Pine Walker, worst case scenario.
Could totally be a Glacial Stalker. There's a lot that it can be.
Best case scenario is the Glacial Stalker, and it's still pretty terrible.
Yeah. But he does stand to lose a creature here to the removal to the combat trick if he has it. There's a significant level of risk though for Herberholz to make that play.
So Herberholz is gonna
fire it off on the
fire off the feet. Yep.
But this is one burn spell away from. I wouldn't call it a disaster. Herberholz, if Eric Severson had a card like say Bring Low, would only be taking 2 and still
like
trading.
Severson might have Become Immense.
That's all he has is Become Immense. Which currently I don't think he can cast.
Oh, he doesn't have any green yet, yeah.
Well, he's got green. I just don't think he has any cards in his yard yet, right?
Oh, yeah, he does, okay. No, he does not. Well, that's going to change soon.
Indeed. Yeah, this is actually going to work out pretty well for Herberholz. I wouldn't call it a blowout. He's going to just trade the Jeskai Elder for the Gorswine in this scenario. Although, actually, this does get interesting, because if this happens, first strike damage is going to kill the War Shrieker, and that will actually put a card in the yard. So if he wants to save his Gorswine, he can. It's really interesting.
And that's what he's going to do?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's not.
He's just going to flip. Okay, fair enough. Gorswine's still going to trade for Jeskai Elder anyway.
He's going to Canyon Lurk for...
Yeah, to get in for 5.
Yeah.
It was after first strike damage.
Then your lurkers are actually the best case scenario, I guess.
I mean, not really. Right now he's facing down a 3-powered first strike on the next turn. You know, you'd much rather have like a Glacial Stalker here. Does get maximum damage in though. And he is going to be able to use that Become Immense on future turns to run over that Bondkin. Ooh, but Herberholz, if he plays conservatively, I see that he's got a Whisk Away in his hand, but he's also got a Sandstep Outcast as well as a War Behemoth.
I think he also has a Narset in his hand.
Really? I think you're right.
Yeah.
Huh, that's interesting. Narset, not a great card in this format.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't take it early. It came back around the table to him.
You often see it not even make the cut.
So William Jensen playing with it yesterday in Sealed.
In Sealed?
Yeah.
Sure. I wonder how happy he was about it. You know?
I don't think he seemed thrilled.
Yeah, it's a card that, I mean, it does have some amount of upside, but it comes with a big downside too.
Smoke Teller comes down.
Curious to see if he's going to offer the Canyon Lurkers for the Sandstep Outcast. He doesn't. And Herberholz
he knows
has
Herberholz
stabilized.
is just going to snap that off, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Yep, takes one in the air from the token. And we're going to see Narset Transcendent. Narset Enlightened Master.
Yeah. All right.
Getting ahead of myself already.
You are. But Narset's here. That's really interesting.
So when Narset attacks, you get to reveal the top 4 cards of your library, and then you could just play non-creature spells for the rest of the turn, revealed that way, for free.
For free. So the downside, the reason why I'm not so hot on Narset is that she costs 6. It's a lot of mana to try to get a 3/2 onto the battlefield.
Yeah.
She can be blocked by many things
Sure.
and get eaten. And the fact is, this is limited. It revolves around creatures. You're going to be playing 15 to 18 creatures. That means you're not going to have a density of super powerful non-creature spells in your deck. You're going to flip up some awkward things like Whisk Aways and stuff like that sometimes. And I think Treasure Cruise is the thing that you want to see the most when
He
you
has.
play
I think he has Treasure Cruise. He's also 1 in 6 to hit. No, he's better than 1 in 6 to hit a
Flying Crane.
Technique.
Yeah, so
I don't know if that'll
that's
kill him.
nice. That's really nice. He's passed the turn back.
Yeah.
And I think he's just going to double block with his.
He's sending everybody.
He's going for the Flying Crane technique, is what he's doing.
Well, he might have one in hand. I haven't seen what he drew.
He didn't have it before, but yeah, he could have drawn it for the turn for sure. There's going to be a trigger on the stack here, and maybe he'll just hit it. Because right now there's a Cunning Strike in hand for Eric Severson, and he might be considering using it. He's not going to.
All right,
that's
the Defiant Strike. Oh, and a Jeskai Ascendancy. He's going to be able to play that. He doesn't have to play them during combat. Well, he can't play them during combat.
He has
You
to
can play
wait.
them at the same speed.
Right. So he's got to wait on those. He can wait on. He can play the Defiant Strike.
You might want to wait on the Defiant Strike, though.
Sure.
Yeah, just with the Jeskai Ascendancy anyway.
Sure.
Even if Narset dies, he still gets to play those because you get to play. It gives you the ability to play the cards until end of turn.
Okay. So I'm assuming. So the problem here that Severson faces is that he needs to deal with Narset. I mean, he'd like to deal with Narset at some point here. You don't want to just let it flip up continually. One problem you do face is that if you don't have significant pressure, Narset can actually deck you, and quite quickly. So what is Severson's plan here? He's blocked with the Dragon's Eye Savants, and he's going to play Cunning Strike to take down the Sandstep Outcast as a 2/1. But he's going to let Narset live. Ooh. We're going to see some whisking away here by Herberholz.
But Cunning Strike is target player and target creature.
It's target creature and player, that's right.
Yeah, so. You're not going to be able to counter it with your whisk away action.
Correct. Yeah, whisking away the Dragon's Eye Savants doesn't seem great either. I mean, it does blank a draw step, but... So it's really interesting because what happened here is the Defiant Strike changed everything. Plan A for Severson was to double block Narset with his 2 creatures that have power, and that would be a trade, at least on board. But all of a sudden, Narset flipped up at a Defiant Strike, which he could use to target Narset and make her 4 power, which would first strike both of them down, so he doesn't have that option. Pretty interesting stuff.
I'm curious if Mark only played one of his 2 Flying Crane techniques, by the way.
But he played Narset. That's weird. I think I'd rather just jam both techniques there.
So Mark plays the Jeskai Ascendancy, cycles the Defiant Strike, untaps his guys, makes the Anak Bonkin a little bigger, and then adds a Jeskai Elder to the board. All right.
So Severson has the Frontier Mastodon here with a counter on it, but you got to feel like Herberholz is in the driver's seat.
Well, oh, he just drew Wild Slash. That was his first pick.
Wow.
And
Wild Slash with Jeskai Ascendancy out and Narset going. This
and
is going to get
and
ugly.
a whisk away
and a whisk away. Wow, he is going to be able to attack with impunity here.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah, just jam. Wow, and he's going to now flip Narset cards. Is he going to hit this technique?
Well, he does hit a Crippling Chill and a Soul Summons.
Soul Summons is interesting. Remember how I was talking earlier about how your deck has 15 to 18 creatures in limited often?
Yeah.
Well, that's one of them, but it's also a spell.
So he uses crippling.
Cool.
He uses Crippling Chill to tap down the Dragon Eye Savant. He just drew a Will of the Naga too.
That was his loot, and then his draw. Can he just Will of the Naga to finish here? I don't think he needs to. I think he would actually prefer to play the Whisk Away here and force
just like nerf Severson's next draw step.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like he knows that he's got the board locked up at the moment, and if the moment stays here next turn, then he's fine.
Yeah, I think he is going to. So he casts Wild Slash.
He doesn't have lethal here, does he? Oh, he might have lethal. He might be able to Wild Slash and also Will of the Naga and then Whisk Away for the victory here. That's what, 3? That'd be 3 triggers. And there's prowess happening too. This has to be enough.
There's the Will.
It's enough. That's more than 16.
Yeah. Well, he's got what, 3 activations?
Yeah, he's got 3, so that's +3/+3 to all of them. Plus Jeskai Elder is going to pick up an extra 3 because it has prowess, and that's it. Holy smokes! That was a flurry of a finish from Herberholz.
Making Narset look good.
Making Jeskai Ascendancy look
great.
great.
I mean, Jeskai Ascendancy doesn't need a lot of help to look great.
It's true. Just non-creature spells.
So here we get a look at Ari Lax and Reid Duke. We're going to catch up and see what they were doing once Ari came back from his break. Alpine Grizzlies, the first play. Morph for Ari Lax.
We will be enforcing targets at 0 and 10. So please make sure you are in your seat when I'm ready to start playing.
Well, you don't see that one very often.
Wastes. Interesting.
That enabled an attack there from the bear too, so that was actually a great map of the waste. You don't say that often, but sometimes you do. And there it is.
Yeah, so he's got a 5/3. He Savage punches away the Mistfire Weaver, adds a long shot squad.
Holy smokes.
And
Reid
Ari
Duke
Lax is up against
this.
it. Oh, but then there's a secret plans into the into the King
BD,
Tree
I'm just
Warden.
like, the King Tree Warden is actually doing fine here.
Yeah, it's doing fine. Not super exciting, but it's doing fine.
I think it is. He drew a card and it's blanking the bear. Like, that is a pretty nice stabilization play there for Lax.
Morphin something off camera. Oh, a Smoke Teller.
This turn's huge for Ari, though. He really needs to commit to the board here and buy himself some time. It looks like all he came up with was a Morph, though.
Oh boy. Reid Duke has incremental growth and onto game 2.
Wow. That was a beating.
Yeah, that was just
That was a savage
that was just a smashing
beating.
And the most aggressive map to wastes I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely. That map to waste responsible for like 10 damage that turn. Or that game, I should say.
All right, underway with a pair of gain lands, and then a Whisper of the Wilds for.
I was
Whisper of the Wilds
just going to
into
say a
Siege
slower
Rhino.
start.
Into Siege Rhino for Reid
Wow.
Duke. What is going on
Turn
here?
3 Siege Rhino from Reid. How do you feel about that, Ari?
Yeah, I was just going to say, how do you like when someone else is casting the Siege Rhinos, Ari? Wow.
Wow. Face up.
Attack.
Dude, he just killed both of his creatures.
Yeah, attack. Awaken the Bear, and
a Reach of Shadows.
Yeah.
Holy smoke. So,
And
what
a
an
map the waste
amazing start for Reid.
a 1/3.
And it is now gone. And it looks like Ari has fully stabilized with a face-down morph and secret plans ready to go. And he's only taking 1 damage a turn from this Whisperer. So,
Double
no.
secret plans. What is going on here? Draw 2 cards off my Misfire Weaver
wow.
and an Elmer. So
And an Elmer. So this is really like one.
I haven't
basically,
seen 2 secret plans in play since Fate Reforged
it's been
came
a
out.
while. Yeah, me neither. This is interesting because Ari is effectively 1 face-down morph away from just completely running away with this game. He's stable at the moment, though.
Hunt the Weak, killed the Flyer.
Still stable.
Yeah. Alpine Grizzly came down, and now a Riverwheel Aerialist.
Yeah. So what's happening right now is that Alpine Grizzly is being held at bay by the Highland game, and the Aerialist is going to keep the Whisper elements, Whisper of the Wilds, excuse me, at bay here, and that means that Ari is stable. Unfortunately for him, the 2 secret plans are doing nothing at the moment.
Right.
And he needs to find a morph. If he finds a morph, he's going to draw 2 cards, and guess what he's going to find? More morphs, and the whole thing's going to be over. So Reid Duke has a lot of pressure on him right now to try to close out this game, and currently he can't do it.
Also a Ghostfire Blade in Ari's deck, by the way.
Oh yeah, I love Ari's deck. Savage Punch here for Reid Duke, though, is going to do a great job of clearing some space. Uh-oh. Don't do it. Reid Duke just played 2 back-to-back Savage Punches to take down both creatures from Ari Lax.
Oh my gosh.
And he's going to crunch in there for 2, 4, 6, 10 damage. Whoa! That's insane.
What is Ari Lax going to draw here to get him out of this? All right, it's a Mystic of the Hidden Way.
The question now is that too late?
He's at 8. He's facing
Is he at
6.
8? I think he should be at 6 here, right? Well, he's cashing in this thing right away. Ooh, this is a huge turn. If Reid has a removal spell or some way to get that thing out of the way, he can just win. Oh no, he's not. Ari is at 8? Okay, then this is actually just a great spot for Ari.
Oh my
Or
god,
is
Armament
it?
Core.
Now it's a chump block time. Oh, Will of the Naga! Wow!
Yeah, I thought he might have that in his hand when he was looking at his yard there. Kept the 2 blue open.
You got that, Reid. Now, Ari is on the hunt for more morphs. As many as he can draw, please.
Yeah. Ice Feather Even, please now. I don't think he has one though.
No.
He just plays
He plays it face
a
down
4
and flips
mana
it up.
Kintree Warden
Yeah.
to draw 2 cards.
And he's drawn a Snowhorn Rider, so this is going right according to plan.
Right. Goes to 9.
Remember, those cards are not untapping for Duke, so he's got a little breathing room here.
Gets to attack, plays an Archer's Parapet, and board might be momentarily stable here.
Yeah, he's not going to take any damage this turn as it sits in 2 different ways, and it can actually face down and turn face up his Snowhorn Rider next turn in one fell swoop.
Right.
He'll wait till Reid's turn, but he has the mana to do it all in one.
Yeah,
turn
Ari
sequence.
Lax has been one of the biggest proponents of Secret Plans.
Yes.
When he 6-0'd in Hawaii.
He was 5 color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 color, yeah, with multiple Secret Plans. Okay, here's the incremental growth.
But it's not going to be a big deal this turn, it is really what's going on.
It's the biggest Whisper of the Wild. It's a roar of the wild.
That is ridiculous. But you know what? That Kintree Warden is doing serious work. That is just bricking any one of Reid Duke's creatures at any given time here. Unfortunately for Ari, the normally staunch Archer's Parapet actually just doesn't block any of these profitably now, thanks to that Whisper being a 5 power. Normally you'd think that could hold something back, but not this time.
So Sultai Charm in hand for
Lax?
For Lax, yeah. Right? Is it Sultai?
It is a Sultai Charm, and he's going to need it. He can take down either the Bear or the Whisperer here with the Sultai Charm.
I'm not even sure which one you want to kill.
Well, so it's interesting because he can trade off his Snowhorn Rider for the Bear, and then he can't do both this turn, but he can take out the Snowhorn, flip up the Snowhorn Rider, draw a bunch of cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and still have a mana to regenerate. He may consider a chump block here on one of these creatures. Double block? I just don't know if he wants to take 5 here. It's pretty safe. Become Immense becomes an issue, but most of the other cards don't. Most of the other pump spells.
Okay.
Yeah, this seems like a good block from Ari here. He's going to take 5 damage in this exchange, but he gets to flip up Snowhorn Rider, draw 2 cards, trade for the Bear, and I think...
And still have mana to regenerate his Kintree Warden.
Exactly.
So there's
Bang.
Snowhorn Rider, draw 2 cards.
So let's see what he gets here, because that's also a thing. Now he didn't hit anything he wanted. And he's going to take a lump of 5 here.
But he can untap with Sultai Charm.
Yes.
Has the Kintree Warden still going to lock up the Armament Core.
Totally.
And is able to just keep attacking with the Mystic of the Hidden Way.
That's right. So this again, it feels like Ari has stabilized. But we felt like that before, and Reid Duke just keeps punching.
Yeah, I mean, I stabilized at 4.
Yeah, he stabilized it at 8 and then up to 9 a minute ago. So we'll see here. I'm not convinced. Reid Duke has had a lot to say about this stabilization effort, though it does feel like Ari's turned the corner on his game.
Here's a Morph. Oh, he's got incremental growth. Oh, interesting.
Well, guess what? That means now the Parapet is able to block again, and he's also going to get maximum clock going with his Mystic of the Hidden Way. Ari this is amazing. I'm enjoying this. If I was Reid Duke, I wouldn't be enjoying it, as he's put out a pretty nice game here and has found himself behind thanks to the 2 secret plans.
Reid is down to 8.
Yeah. And that Parapet is threatening to kill him next turn.
All right, cracks in for 6.
Ari has to actually decide if he wants to block with the Parapet.
He does block with the Parapet.
Yeah, but Reid's just going to be dead here because he's going to go down to 7 from the Parapet. He's going to take 6 on the ground, and then he's going to take 1 more from the Parapet, and that's going to be it. So unless Reid has some instant speed life gain, this one's in the books.
What's extra sweet about those secret plans is Ari did not need to invest in early picking those because they just go around the table.
They kind of do now, yeah. Ari's going to make sure he gets in an extra damage as well. Game.
Yeah, that is game. Wow. What a great game by Ari Lax. By the way, 2 Pro Tour Honolulu champions diagonally across from each other at the table. Ari Lax, of course, the most recent, and Mark Herberholz there across from him diagonally, the first.
Is Kibler the only other?
Kibler is the only other, yes. So now we're going back to the Herberholz match. Severson comes out with Smoke Teller and a Morph around... poor Jeskai Elder hasn't really gotten to do anything in this match.
That happens sometimes. It's really doing nothing.
He got paid the Dragon Fire.
Yeah, I had a bat.
He's like, hey, get out of here. And then a Gore Swine, Sandstep Outcast for Herberholz, which matches up pretty well against Severson's board here. But
Severson has
Hunt the
Week.
Yeah. Still, the token still gets the trade for the Gore Swine.
Yeah, he offered that trade. I'm actually quite surprised by that.
Mardu, board chief, gets eaten by a Glacial
He
Stalker.
could have just not attacked with the Swine. That's interesting.
Defiant Strike cycles off of the
this is not good for Herberholz.
Yeah.
That is desperate acts of a desperate man.
He's got
when
a
you start
Will
seeing
Naga just to buy some time.
No, that's good.
Yeah. There's
Less good.
yeah.
When your opponent puts 5 power on the board and with the potential for even more, and you're doing delay tactics,
Yeah.
that's not great.
Okay, that's the game.
It was
Great.
a Glacial Stalker,
Yeah.
so that was enough to kill him. Wow, that played out a lot differently than the first game.
Some real star power in the feature match area. Look back there, you see YUUYA Watanabe walking away with the match slip. Always a good sign for YUUYA. And then one other table item. What was the other feature match?
The other match was...
Oh, that was Owen Turtenwald and Christian Calcano.
Yeah, they are being covered on our text table over there, so we can read about what happened there on the website.
Actually, we might have that on Turbo too. We might be able to. No?
No, that's a different table.
Okay.
Turbo was YUUYA.
Oh, Turbo was YUUYA. Great. I mean, YUUYA plays pretty turbo to begin with. I don't even know that we need to speed him up too much.
We might not be able to see him.
We are in everybody shuffling mode.
Double shuffle mode
Yeah.
here. That happens sometimes.
I think it happens with the same frequency that Wooly locks it on as the face down card that your opponent has.
They always
it just
happen.
always happens.
Yeah.
So a pair of game threes. Ari and Reid and Eric Severson. Is it Severson?
Severson.
Yeah, okay. Eric Severson and Mark Herberholz. It's Herberholz.
It is not.
Mark Herberholz, someone you're suddenly like, oh, you're suddenly thinking
Yes.
about come Hall of Fame time. Huh?
All of a sudden, yeah. The thing I'm wondering is, like, how is this guy not in the Hall? But it makes sense. I was talking to Randy about it yesterday, and he was saying that the threshold when he was sort of in the spotlight seemed to be closer to the 5 Pro Tour top 8. He's got 3,
Oh,
Randy?
he's only got the 3? Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad.
Oh. Well, then he needs to put one up for me, and we'll get him. All right, so some mana fixing here to start off for both players.
Ghostfire Blade for Arilax. So he's got the morph deck.
He's got the morph deck.
Somebody count. I wonder how many morphs he's playing. So 7 morphs, a cloud form,
That counts.
a right into being.
Oh no, Arilax is discarding the hand size here. It
Oh,
was
boy.
a cancel that just hit the bin for him. You got to figure he's got a bunch of morphs he can play in his hand if he hits that 3rd mana, but Reid Duke's deck does not waste time
No.
getting beef on the table here. And it unfortunately might be what's for dinner here for Arilax, because he is going to get crunched for a lot of damage here. Oh,
Yeah, just straight up
This
to
is
armament
8
core.
damage that he's taking right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop you to 9.
Yeah, that's over half of Ari's life total. I don't even think a land gets him out of it this time. He did draw one, but
That's wow. Match to Reid Duke.
wow. And that is the power, though, of what Reid's doing, right? Like, we both love what Ari's up to with the kind of fancy stuff and, drawing the extra cards and playing the spells. But, with Reid's deck, it's very streamlined. He's just like, here's a bunch of power. Deal with this, And that goes a long way when your opponent stumbles at all. And Reid's deck looks quite consistent, too. I love a deck like that.
Okay, doing turbo here. Mark Herberholz leads off with a Dragon Bell Monk. And Frontier Mastodon for Severson.
The Frontier is ready to rumble.
Yeah, no blocks from Mark, who has played a morph. And then a morph from Severson, but no 4th land for Severson. Fifth land for Herberholz, which always represents the danger zone for morphs. And Severson doesn't block. It's like plenty to do for Severson despite not having the mana. I see a Gore Swine, I see
Is there a Teamer Charger in there too?
Yeah, Teamer Charger, a Smoke Teller.
Yeah.
So
looks like his deck is able to operate at least on 3 mana. You could see him falling behind though if Herberholz can start deploying multiple
Herberholz
threats.
has a Narset for next turn.
That could help put Eric Severson behind for good here. Game 2 played out way differently than Game 1. Herberholz just got ran over.
So Frontier Mastodon comes in, and now Mark is willing to offer the trade. Severson accepts. Oh, and there's also a Hooting Mandrills.
Yeah, he doesn't mind having extra creatures in his yard here. Does not want to trade his Morph off though.
Yeah.
Too risky. If Herberholz had any spell.
Flips up a War Behemoth at the end of the turn. I like that. And here comes Narset, Enlightened Master.
So this could be good, it could be not great. It kind of depends on how things go off the top of the deck and what Severson has to play on his turn here too. But 3/2 First Strike looks nice on this board no matter what.
Yeah, and multiple Defiant Strikes in Herberholz's deck.
Including one in his hand.
Yeah. Rather
unexciting play here for Severson with the Smoke Teller. But he needs to get some more blockers on the table to deal with Narset, and even then it's risky business. This is interesting because it really does depend on what Mark hits, right? Like, if it's just 3 damage, whatever. Severson doesn't care about that at all. But if Herberholz starts hitting some big spells with Narset, then she can kind of spiral out of control here. Well, there's Whisk Away, which is a little awkward to hit. And Flying Crane Technique. Wow.
Yeah, there it is.
How about this?
So I'm going to just cast the Flying Crane Technique.
And that's going to mean that the Whisk Away is going to, well, it's just going to go away. But who cares? This is a huge chunk of damage. And he's going to add to the damage count by playing a Defiant Strike here as well.
Well, how often do you get to do, 2 extra damage off of your Defiant Strike?
Very often.
Whisk Away goes away.
Well, it doesn't actually, but
yeah.
I guess it's just staying exiled, sure.
Yeah.
And that is a massive hit there. That was 14 damage that Herberholz just did. Huh. Who would have known? Narset hitting Flying Crane Technique somehow puts you in a good position to win against your opponent who is stuck on 3 lands.
Yeah, ignore what Randy said, by the way. Herberholz is showing 4 on the statistics page and top 8s.
I trust you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're perfect. I'm just saying that.
So there's a Morph for Severson.
I rely on you for these things.
And Will Naga.
GG, as we say in the business.
Will Naga, by the way, has looked pretty good.
It has.
And I know it's a card that a lot of pros don't love. Oh my gosh, a Master the Way.
Yeah, irrelevant. And Severson has to kind of smirk. He hit really nicely with Narset there.
Yeah.
He hit 2 spells on both flips. One of them he couldn't even play. That's how good he's just throwing them away. Whatever.
I don't even need this Whisk Away.
Yeah. Well, that's just like
10-0 for Mark Herberholz.
That's just like he drew it up.
And you see Ray Punzalan there in the middle, working the scoreboard.
Working the graphics.
Yeah.
Severson's smiling. I'm sure he's not happy, but what are you going to do?
I mean, he's 9-1. It's hard to feel too bad.
Good point.
you know. Mark really wants this, by the way. Like, I could tell I got to the feature match area, he's like, went to bed early last night.
Well, that's not his style.
That is not remotely his style.
He looks like a guy that would go to bed early.
He's gone to bed early a few times in his day, you know, usually being 5, you know, the sun's coming up
early in the morning.
So yeah, we're going to do a feature. We have a turbo match, Christian Calcano versus Owen Turtenwald. Calcano has a turn 2 War Name Aspirant and a morph on turn 3 from the All Mountains Owen Turtenwald. And then a Gorswine, card we've seen a lot of this weekend.
That's good work.
And the morph comes in, and Goblin Heel Cutter comes down. Full price.
Full price.
Yeah.
So that is going to be threatening for the rest of the game until it's dealt with.
Okay. Banner into, is that light form?
Light form.
Yeah.
And what is up with Owen over here? He's got 3 mountains and another mountain.
He's got a 4th mountain in hand.
What are his other colors? Blue? Is he a Glacial Stalker?
Bring low on the Goblin Heel Cutter.
He continues to attack, though, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Ooh!
Oh, Ponyback Brigade flips mid-combat. One of the tokens eats the Gore Swine. And, oh, by the way, we're going to go on to game 2 here. Players shuffling up at lightning speed. And we are underway. Tormenting Voice for Owen Turtenwald. There's the blue he was missing last game. So much blue he could discard 1 to Tormenting Voice.
Yeah.
Turn 3, no play. Turn 3, we're going to get a banner from Christian Calcano.
Yeah, you know, that's what Owen wants to see, right? He's supposed to have more pressure on the board to punish people for playing a banner on turn 3, but he didn't have it.
Summit Prowler eats an Arrow Storm. And then another Tormenting Voice.
Yeah, Turtenwald has no action here.
Yeah.
He discarded Teamer Battle Rage.
So Dragon gets eaten by an Arrow Storm on the other side of the table now. And
what the?
His own Summit Prowler and an Aven Skirmisher.
Wow, you can see why Owen took the turn to kill that dragon. Would have wiped his board. Dragon's really good against Owen's deck.
In comes Summit Prowler, replaced by another Summit Prowler when it trades with the Bloodfire Expert.
Yeah, Owen is
and
just behind
Aven Skirmisher
and
just
again.
doing nothing. Neither attacking nor blocking.
Yeah, can't block that. He can't risk it.
Oh, Pearl Lake
hello,
Ancient.
Friend.
Gets tapped by Pressure Point.
Is that lethal? I would assume not. No, not at all.
Another Aven Skirmisher for Calcano. What is he doing here?
Wow, 2 Aven Skirmishers? He's not playing black, so we're not talking about like a Raider spoil situation. Interesting.
All right. In come the 2 creatures.
Yeah, this is what Aven Skirmishers do.
Oh, Teamer Battle Rage on Pearl Lake Ancient.
Holy smokes, remember it has prowess too. Wow.
Lotus Path Djinn.
Uh-oh. Are we going to see a mass pump spell here from Calcano off the top?
If it has to come off the top. Flips a Ponyback Brigade at the end of the turn. Attacks with almost everybody. Leaves 2 blockers back.
Chump block there for Turtenwald. On the Summit Prowler.
Yeah. And 2 chump blockers left back for Calcano.
Yeah, this is a tough spot. There, you know, right now I can see that that Owen's at 5 and Calcano's at 4. So Owen has a lethal attacker here, but Calcano set it up so that he had 2 redundant chump blockers, and now he's going to try to crunch in there and get the victory. Turtenwald just needs anything but...
Well, he can pick up, float, and play.
That's exactly what he does. So what's the follow-up here? What is the game plan for Calcano? Again, I see. So he's got Turtenwald down to 2 now and has Turtenwald with just 1 creature left. And the morph can block, and then Calcano has 3 threats.
Bathe in Dragonfire.
Oh, another pony back.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. I don't see how Owen gets out of this now. He would need a barrage there.
Christian Calcano, even skirmishers did a lot of work that game.